everybody. We're so excited today to be back talking with another one of our Hall stars today. We are talking with Hunter King, star of A Royal Corgi Christmas. And Hunter, thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, we're so excited because you've just like burst onto the Hallmark scene this year. It's so fun.
I love it so much. This is amazing. It's my third Hallmark film and I'm having a blast. I love working for Hallmark.
Yeah, we love having you. So we like to, for new guests, we like to learn a little bit about you and tell us a little bit about how you got started in acting and kind of what inspired you to go down that path.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, I started when I was 6 years old. So
wow.
It's been a minute. It's been a while since I started, but I honestly can't say that I've known anything else. I've just, ever since I was a little kid, this is always something that I've dreamed of doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's literally been my passion.
So were you in like LA area or Vancouver area or
yeah, LA. I grew up like right around LA, kind of like the suburbs of LA. My mom basically every single day after school would take us to auditions. Bless my mom. I don't know how she did it with the traffic because we didn't live right in LA. So she'd have to commute with the rush hour traffic coming home every single day. I truly don't know how she stayed sane. So I owe it all to my mom.
Is she in the business? Is that how she got kind of the idea, or how did that start?
So it all started with my older sister. My older sister was just so bubbly and outgoing and just the cutest thing with the curliest hair. And everyone would tell my mom, like, you got to put her into acting. She was just so outgoing. And I was so incredibly shy and I wanted nothing to do with it. But I watched my older sister do it. And then one day I just told my mom that I really wanted to do it. My mom's like, are you sure? You are so shy that you hide behind my legs at the grocery store so that people can't see you. But I really wanted to do it. And then as soon as I started doing it, I fell in love with it. But I just wanted to do everything that my big sister did.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah. It's interesting. I've talked to a ton of actors and you think that they would be super extroverted profession because you think they'd be super extroverted by their profession but in my experience, actually a lot of actors are really shy.
Isn't it so weird?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's like the strangest thing when my sister worked with Steve Carell, and I guess from watching The Office especially, I assumed that he would be extremely extroverted, but he was really introverted and kind of shy.
Yeah,
made me feel better. I was like, oh my gosh, am I the only person that's like, kind of shy? And I'm really awkward, I feel like, when I meet new people. And we were just talking earlier about how, if I'm in like a group of people and they're like, hi, say your name and what you like to do, even if there's like 5 people in a room, or when you're in like high school and they're like, say your name, my heart would beat so fast. And even now, just thinking about it, like my palms are sweaty. I get so nervous, even still to this day. It's like not the same thing as being on set, and it freaks me out.
yeah, it's more isolated. I don't know. It's just a different experience, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. And you can just, for me, like the few times that I have like had to audition one-on-one with people, I was way more nervous than actually being on the stage. Again, I have very limited experience, but the few times I was way more nervous one-on-one versus, I don't know. It's like on the stage, you could just make everybody kind of go away.
Yeah.
And,
I know what you mean. It's more like a personal experience one-on-one. Yeah, rather than like a big group of people. I don't know why. It just feels a little bit different. But then if you put me like public speaking, that's really nervous. I think it's like when it's my own voice. I don't know if you feel the same, but like when it's my own words, that's really terrifying, rather than if someone wrote something for me. It's not as scary. I don't know why. My brain is all...
It's true. I can see that because you can kind of get lost in a character as opposed to, I've got to, say these words.
Yeah. Like, what if I mess up?
I've got to inspire people.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to inspire people. If someone else writes it for me, then I know how to do it.
Yeah. So you were on Life in Pieces. So that was as a child actor, right?
No, I went on to that. Yeah. Kind of, like a young adult.
Okay. Yeah. So that must have been a fun show to work on.
That one was a really fun show to work.
Great cast.
Really good cast. It was so much fun. That was really my first experience with comedy. And it was so much fun. Everybody on the show was so talented. So I feel like I learned a lot just from watching as a fan of the show. being on the show. And it was so much fun just watching everybody improv. And I would just sit there like, oh my God, this is my job. But I just was like just sitting there watching these improv extraordinaires, like, holy crap, like I get to do this for a living. This is amazing. So it was a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, that would be really neat. So you said on IMDb that you were cheerleader / advanced gymnastics.
Yeah.
I was like, that's got to be a story there.
Sometimes you have things and you're like IMDb, it's like in case, for a role, like, that like for certain skills, you're like, you kind of hope that certain people like don't ever see that. It's like, but yes, I did do gymnastics growing up for a very long time. For a long time, I did gymnastics. And then throughout high school, I graduated early, but I did do cheerleading in high school.
So what was your like specialty in gymnastics? What was your best event?
Floor. But
Okay.
I didn't ever compete because we were doing acting growing up, and my mom driving us to audition. So we could never really join a team and compete with gymnastics. It wouldn't be fair to whatever kind of team we were on. So we just mostly did it for fun, but I enjoyed floor. I was terrified of like the beam and the bar. So
I would be
stuck to the floor, right? I don't know how people do that. How do they? No idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's just one of those sports where you're like, how do you become a professional at that sport without dying? Like, I don't know how.
Like, how do you one day just say, I'm going to attempt to do a flip on a beam? Like, how do you one day just go, I'm going to just go for it? I'm like, I'm just never going to, I'm just not going to do it.
It's like the luge or whatever. Like, I always think about that at Winter Olympics. I'm like, how do you train for that without dying?
Right? Like what? How did
you can't like kind of do it?
Yeah, you can't just like ease into it. You just got to do it.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I don't know. I'm really not that brave. So I stuck to like
I'm not
other things.
Yeah. Well, so you were on Young and the Restless. How old were you when you did that?
When I started that, I was 18.
Okay. So did you have any like fun, dishy soap plots?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. What was your like dishiest, most memorable?
The most memorable,
Did you have any evil twins or, I don't know, just something fun like that?
Any evil twins? Well, my aunt slept with my husband. So that was a fun one.
Yeah.
And then one of my husbands was killed and then stuffed into an armoire, I think it was.
Oh, gosh.
And we discovered his body.
Grisly.
The cabin. So yeah, there's been a couple of crazy. Oh, and then my dad wasn't my dad. There was a whole paternity thing.
Yes.
Yeah, there's been some fun soapy.
That's good. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's such a grind doing the soaps as far as just so much content that they put out. I just admire anybody who works in those shows, and that must have been quite a learning experience.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like it's like the best training tool imaginable. I mean, the amount of dialogue that you have to learn in a day, because you have, the amount of days that you film, and you have, Tuesday stuff, and then immediately after you have to learn Wednesday stuff. And so I think the most stuff I had in a day was like, I'm trying to imagine, I think it was like 50 pages of dialogue in one day. Because then if somebody gets sick, then you have to like move certain days, or if you get sick. And so there's always something that could happen. So I think I got sick one day and then somebody else, and everything kind of piled onto one day, and it was like 50 pages of dialogue. And then like the following day was like 32 pages of dialogue. And there's no way you can learn the next day's dialogue on top of today's dialogue. So you have to like wait to learn the next day's dialogue. So it is really the best training tool.
Yeah.
Ever. So yeah, it's hard stuff. It's a grind for sure.
Yeah. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the good folks at Baker Publishing Group. Looking for the perfect gift for the romantic book lover in your life? These contemporary romance novels will woo their way into your hearts. First, we have To Win a Prince by Tony Shiloh. Fashion aficionado Iris Blakely dreams of using her talent to start a business to help citizens in impoverished areas. But when she discovers that Econ Dilo will be her business consultant, the battle between her desires and reality begins. Can she keep her heart and business intact despite the challenges she faces? Have to read to find out. Next up, All That It Takes by Nicole Deese. After moving cross-country with her son and accepting a filmmaker's mentorship, Val Locklear is caught between her insecurities and new possibilities. Miles McKenzie returns home to find a new tenant is living upstairs, and he's been banished to a ministry on life support. As sparks fly, they discover that authentic love and sacrifice must go hand in hand. Pretty Little Spaces by Carmen Schober is sure to please. Georgina Havock's dream of a happily ever after falls apart when her boyfriend blindsides her with a pause. She is determined to pick up the pieces of her previously perfect life, but with the reappearance of her troubled twin sister, plus the presence of a ruggedly handsome ex-sniper, she's left facing not only her shattered future, but also her past. Looking for Leroy by Melody Carlson, Brianna Phillips is ready to give up on love, but when her fellow teacher invites her on a trip through Sonoma wine country, she's reminded of her first crush, whose family owned a vineyard there. Is there any chance she can find him? And one last chance for love? Next up, The Sweet Life by Suzanne Woods Fisher. Jilted by her fiance, Don Dixon, escapes to beautiful Cape Cod on a groomless honeymoon with her mother. But she didn't expect her mom to risk everything on a whim to move there permanently and buy a rundown ice cream shop in need of repair. Of course, in order to make their new life work, they'll also need her ex's help. Finally, The Last Way Home by Liz Johnson. A disgraced former NHL player and a local artist are thrown together when her pottery studio burns to the ground on the day he returns to Prince Edward Island. But as they work together to rebuild, their secrets will come out, putting even their hearts on the line. So head over to bakerbookhouse.com/featured/Hallmarkies to pick up one of these great books and use code Hallmarkies40 for 40% off these titles from November 14th to December 12th. That's bakerbookhouse.com/featured/Hallmarkies and use code Hallmarkies40 for 40% off. But then you had this summer, your first movie for Hallmark, Hidden Gems. Mm-hmm. And how did that all happen? How did you get involved in that project? And yeah, how did they come to you with it, or what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I got so lucky. Hallmark approached me and asked me if I wanted to work with them. And I don't know how I got so lucky to work on a project like Hidden Gems. I remember showing up in Hawaii and I was on my way to wardrobe fitting and I took the wrong exit and was like kind of weaving through the mountains, and you couldn't take the wrong exit without having to get back on. And you were like, there was no exit further, like after 9 miles. So I had to get back on the exit and I was like, I'm going to be late. I have to call them. And I was like stressed out, worrying that I was going to be late, but I had I couldn't help but laugh because I was like, I am lost in Hawaii, the most gorgeous place like ever. And I was like, I can't believe this is my job. I get to like get lost in Hawaii for my job. Like, this is just insane. And just feeling like this immense amount of like so grateful and thankful that this gets to be my job. Like I get to travel to like all these cool places and work with so many talented, kind people that I get to now call some of my best friends. It's just such a cool opportunity.
Yeah, really. I mean, a pretty good gig that we're working in Hawaii. Were you on the North Shore, Oahu?
So I went up to the North Shore almost every weekend just for fun. But no, we got to film at one of the hotels. It was kind of like on its own. So we weren't in Waikiki. We were kind of like northeast, like kind of like northeast of that a little bit.
Okay.
Like through the map in my
yeah. So I know where you're talking about. So just it would have been
I think northeast of Waikiki.
Oh, yeah. So sort of down from Honolulu.
Yeah, or up. I don't know. I guess it's like depends on the way. If like north is here.
Oh yeah,
like,
northeast.
It's like this way.
I see. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing this the right way, but it was like kind of like on its own little beach, the hotel that we were filming at for the most part. But we filmed all over the island. It was amazing.
It's my favorite place in the whole world.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Oahu, North Shore. Oh,
Oh,
did you get any shaved ice?
oh. Oh, I love shaved ice. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I also discovered the best bagel place in the world
Oh, yeah.
in the North Shore.
On North Shore.
I know, and I'm a bagel connoisseur, and I thought the best bagels are in New York. No, no, no. I'm here to tell you that they are in the North Shore in Hawaii.
And I don't know if you got to try the shrimp trucks. Those are so good.
I tried the shrimp truck. Yes. I went back to the North Shore every single weekend when I was in Hawaii just for the shaved ice, the bagels, and the shrimp. And the views too, of course, but mostly for the food.
Man, if they do hidden gems too, I'll go. I can be your assistant.
You are coming. We are going on a food tour of the North Shore.
All right, good. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was cute. It was one of my favorites. I'm not just saying that because I'm interviewing. It was one of my favorites of summer nights.
Thank you.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was kind of a fun story, and I thought you had nice chemistry with your co-star, and so, yeah, I mean, the only side of me was like, why on earth are you wearing that ring in the ocean? Like, what are you doing?
Come on. Right?
I realized there'd be no movie then, but you're just like...
It was honestly such a fun movie to make. It was also jumping into the ocean from the boat. That was so much fun. I begged them to let me do that. They were going to use stunt double, and I begged and I pleaded, and they let me do it.
Oh, that's cool.
Really fun. It was such a fun movie to make, and everyone was so kind. And that director, McLean, he was amazing and so sweet to work with. And then his wife, Claire, who I met in Hawaii, she's also amazing. I got to work with her on The Royal Corgi Christmas. She directed that movie. Yeah,
I forgot that they did that. McLean did Hidden Gems.
Yeah, they're a little directing duo.
Yeah,
keep it in the
power
family.
couple,
right? I know.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do every single movie with the two of them now.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that you have done some voice acting, and a little bit. I'm a big fan of animation.
Yeah.
So I had to ask you about that. So is that something you want to do more of? That you, yeah,
love to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to. It's definitely a hard thing to break into, but yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's something that I would love to do more of for sure. It's something that I've always been interested in. I've always one of those people that like randomly break out into like weird voices for no apparent reason. My dog has her own voice that I've given her. Depending on what mood she's in, what time of day, she has a couple of her own voices. So yes, that would definitely be something that I would like to pursue more of.
Yeah. Well, so let's talk about Nikki and Nora.
Yes.
So we've had Rhiannon on a couple times. We love her.
She's the best, isn't she?
Yeah, so fun. And I think I bought you two as sisters. I thought that worked. And yeah.
Everybody that we encountered when we filmed that movie, we're like, do you think that we look like sisters? We do, right?
Yeah. And I think the series has a lot of potential. Have you heard anything at all about it, or that you're allowed to tell us?
We'll see.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I have to be real. I was annoyed about the twist, the ending with Madison, because I like him. I'm such a fan of his. And I was just like, what?
Hey, you got to say, you didn't expect it.
Yeah, right? That's true. I didn't expect it. Especially after they had a kiss. Like, that never happens in these movies. And I was like, what happened? What did Madison get like some other role and needed a change, like needed a way out or something? It just felt like, what?
They're wrenching it. They're like, surprise.
Yeah, surprise. But other than that, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a cute mystery, and we haven't gotten that many mysteries, this year. We only had like 5. So
it was so much fun to film that movie. And Rhiannon is one of my best friends. I feel like I met the other half of my soul in Rhiannon, and
Yeah.
meeting her changed my life.
You could feel that. You could feel the friendship.
Aw.
And so I
I
think
feel
you
like I
should
wouldn't be
do,
surprised if like we found out that we were related somehow. Like I wouldn't be.
yeah, maybe there's a detective dossier somewhere out there. But
Ooh, great idea.
yeah, I mean, it would be fun if you got to do a rom-com together,
It would be
like
Hallmark.
like some kind of, I mean, they already did the sister swaps with Ashley and Kimberly, but I don't know, just something, two sisters both finding love. We could make it work.
We can make it work, Hallmark.
You know what they could do is they could do a like Much Ado About Nothing, I'm not Much Ado About Taming of the Shrew, like a take on a Christmas movie where you have like the two sisters, the one's kind of grumpy and the one really wants to fall in love, but like
we could do that. I think we should write a little email to Hallmark and like,
okay.
hey, we have an idea.
Yeah. We'll write the treatment. It'll be great.
Yeah.
Because 10 Things I Hate About You is so popular, and that's the same story.
Yeah.
But you'd have a Christmas version of it.
Let's call Rhiannon after this.
Yeah, which I feel like Rhiannon would have to be Bianca, and you would be the cat character.
We'll call her.
Yeah.
We'll
okay, good. That'll be good. Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies. Anyway, so we have this Royal Corgi Christmas.
Yes.
And it looks real cute. I mean, those puppies, you can't go wrong. So tell us a little bit about the movie.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun to make. I mean, I was surrounded by puppies. Literally every single day I got to work with Bonbon, who plays Mistletoe. And then there was days where there was literal little baby corgis on set. I don't know if you've ever seen a little baby corgi puppy. The cutest thing ever. Luckily, my dog is in the other room, so she's not hearing me right now say that. She would be betrayed. It was so much fun to make. I've never been to Ireland before. That was on my bucket list forever. Ireland is stunning. We got to work in literal castles, like actual castles, not one, but like, I think 4. I don't know. I lost count after like 2. I was just like gobsmacked.
I was going to ask you about that, about where the castle was. So there's multiple
castles, like real life castles. Insane. It was such an amazing experience, and the cast was just all so sweet and so kind. They couldn't have been more welcoming. Just so amazing to work with. And then Claire, I love working with Claire, our director. It was so amazing to have a female director. We need more of those, and I'm so happy that Hallmark gave Claire this job, and it was so amazing getting to work with her. She is such a fearless leader, and just every question I had, she was right there ready to answer. And it just felt like such a collaborative experience. There were so many times that she was like, what do you think Cecily would do in this instance? And just so many times that she was like, okay, let's decide how to make this bit funny. So just, it was so amazing getting to work with her.
So what was the kind of timeline for your involvement in this movie? They give you a call, your agent, say, hey, we want Hunter to be in this movie. And then how much time did you have to kind of get ready? Was it one of those ones that you were right on a plane right away, or did you have a little bit of time?
I feel like they're all pretty similar. I feel like it usually is like about 2 to 3, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like it's like 3 weeks ahead of time.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, before you leave, about 3 weeks ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go.
Yeah. So were you pretty stoked the fact that you're going to get to play like basically in a Cinderella type story?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean,
Princess.
once I heard it was dog trainer, I was like stoked. I'm in. And then you're like, okay. And then you get to work in castles. I'm like, what? And then they're like, well, and then there's a scene about, wearing this ball gown. I'm like, I'm in. Say no more. And then you read the script and you're like, it gets better and better and better. And it's like, just 6-year-old hunter's fantasy.
Would you say that you're a rom-com fan in general?
Yes.
Just personally in your own movie going viewing?
That's pretty much all I watch.
Yeah.
Well, that and like reality TV, but yes.
Right. Oh, what's your guilty pleasure reality TV?
Oh, Love is Blind. I just finished that, and Love Island.
Oh,
so bad, so trashy, but it's so good.
Yeah.
Do you watch any reality TV?
Well, I don't have time to watch much aside from what I have to cover on as a film critic but I have been known to watch Sister Wives on TLC. I guess that's my guilty pleasure.
Okay. All right, I will put that up there.
I mean, it's a hot mess, but an entertaining hot mess. 90 Day Fiance. I've watched that.
90 Day Fiance is chef's kiss.
So good.
Also so good.
So I guess those are mine. I mean, I'm a huge Survivor fan.
Love Survivor.
But I don't really consider that trashy. It's really interesting, actually.
Oh, Survivor is gold.
Yeah. It's so interesting to see like what goes into making the decisions and how people like ally with each other. And they've had over 40 seasons, and every season has been different. Like
gameplay
the strategy is different every time. So that makes it so interesting.
So good. And I also just watched The Mole and how they like brought and the gameplay strategy on that kind of reminds me of Survivor.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think it has all the same sort of production people.
Does it? That would surprise me.
Was it good?
It was really good. And now I'm going back and watching with my boyfriend. We're watching like all the Celebrity Mole episodes.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh,
so
man.
Good. You got to watch it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, and Big Brother is more, I would say Big Brother is probably the trashier of the reality television of those kinds of shows. Mm-hmm. But it's such a time commitment that it's harder for me to.
So much. It's like Love Island.
Like multiple times a week. I'm like, I don't have time for that.
Yeah. I don't know where I find the time, but I find the time apparently. I take it away from sleep.
Yeah. I used to watch Dancing with the Stars all the time, but once I started on this podcast, I'm like, I don't have time for that. So I cut it out.
You got to find the ones to cut out.
Yeah.
Priorities. Apparently Sister Wives is up there though.
Yeah. Yes, Sister Wives is up there.
That's okay. I don't judge you. Maybe okay.
Although it's gotten way less fun because now they're all like unhappy and miserable, and it used to be kind of just a disaster, but like a fun, sweet disaster, and now it's like just a disaster. So not as good.
Happy, sweet disaster.
Anyway, so yes, what was it like working with the dogs? Obviously they're adorable, but actually like being in a scene with them, was that hard?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah, it was difficult sometimes. Yeah, I mean, it's like working with a baby for sure, a little bit. Like, they don't always sit when you want them to sit. They don't always do the things that you want them to do when you want them to do them. But I mean, neither does my dog. Does it take away how much I love her? No. Does it take away from how cute she is? No.
Yeah.
So, and it kind of makes it more fun. It's like you're kind of improvising, and it adds to the fun of the scene. And there was some scenes where Jordan, who plays the prince, and I'm hoping that they kept them in there, where they're like, okay, you guys just go and play fetch with him down the hill and like run around, and we're supposed to play fetch, and Mistletoe or Bon wouldn't play fetch, and so we're trying to get him to play fetch and run around, and Jordan winds up slipping and falling, and it was just the funniest thing. And there's certain moments that we wouldn't have caught if Bon Bon would have done exactly what we wanted him to do. And those are like those hidden gem moments where we're like, oh my gosh, it's so funny and so perfect, where like the whole crew was just dying laughing. So, sometimes it works in your favor, but I mean, Bon Bon was a really good sport. And, those are long, hard days too. It's a long time for a little puppy to be on set. So I don't blame him.
Yeah.
But he was a good sport. He was good.
Yeah. So you mentioned Jordan, your co-star Jordan Renzo. So when you get assigned a co-star in a romantic comedy like this, is there anything that you do to try to kind of build that chemistry and that rapport with them?
I mean, it kind of just happens supernaturally, I found a lot of the time. If you don't force it, you kind of just get to know them like a friend. It feels like. And also Jordan and I got every single day on the way to set together in the car, and he taught me everything I needed to know about the royal family. So
that's good.
The tea on the royal family, some stuff I did not know. I thought I knew some things, did not know. So I got that. Although Jordan and I mostly napped on the way to work in the morning. So it was very, very early pickup times. So we usually chatted on the way back from work. But yeah, I feel like it's just supernatural. If you just get to know each other as friends, I feel like it just kind of comes really easily.
Did you get to tour and do any tour staying when you were there in Ireland?
Yeah, on the weekends I got to do a bit of touring. My boyfriend was able to come with me, and we got to go to the Cliffs of Moher, which was everything I hoped it would be. Everyone kept telling us like it's going to get sucked in, there's going to be clouds and rain and fog, and somehow we got there like right before sunset, and it was just perfectly clear and picturesque and amazing. It was incredible.
That would be so cool. I would love to see that.
You have to. If you ever get the chance.
Well, now you just have to make a movie in Italy, because we've been joking that this year in Hallmark, everybody falls in love in either Ireland or Italy.
I mean,
not Hawaii, Ireland, Italy, Hawaii.
I think that's a must. Again, if Hallmark, if you're listening, I really think that would just add a lot of value. Italy.
What we could do the Taming of the Shrew movie in Italy, where it's originally set in the play.
In Italy.
Two sisters. I don't know why they would be in Italy, but we figured out a reason.
That's hearsay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out.
It's brilliant.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
So you have this beautiful blue ball gown in the movie. So what was that all like, kind of getting it fitted and getting it made and wearing it and everything, all of that?
Well, I had to try on about 20 or more ball gowns to have the network approve one of them. And I am like your typical girl. Like, I mean, in some ways not. I also wanted to be a race car driver growing up.
Okay.
Part of my childhood, part of it. And a football player for part of my childhood. Again, part of it. But I also did love playing dress up and dreamt about like a big wedding and all that kind of stuff. So it was, again, 6-year-old Hunter's dream trying on all these ball gowns. I didn't want to get out of some of them. I was like spinning around like, oh my God, take a picture to the wardrobe girls. Like, okay, let's get this moving. We need to try on 15 more. So it was really fun. It was like playing dress up.
Yeah, I think it would be fun. I'm surprised they went with the blue. It's a Christmas movie.
I know. I was like, are we going to do like yellow, like Belle or red? But no, they said blue is Cecily's color.
They said blue is the sexiest color?
No,
I was like,
You're like, Hallmark is racy.
I've never heard that one before.
Blue is the sexiest color. Blue is Cecily's color, apparently.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Blue is the
But I mean, usually they
sexiest
usually
color.
go with red or green for Christmas or
I think
Christmas movie,
maybe
or like some kind of metallic. So the fact that they went with like cobalt blue was like, whoa, okay.
I think maybe because like the prince's uniform, like it
Yeah.
has red, maybe just would have like been too much.
Oh
All
yeah.
the stuff in like the ballroom. So I think maybe just like to make it pop more. I don't know. I'm guessing.
Yeah. Maybe they
Honestly.
did think it was the sexiest color.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm just pulling all this stuff like
Yeah.
out of thin air. Completely, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like a really cute movie. We'll look forward to seeing it.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
very excited for everyone to see it. I hope everyone likes it. Bon Blanc, who plays Mistletoe, he is adorable. Everyone's going to fall in love with him. Everyone's going to want a corgi. So be
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all, after what happened with the queen's corgis.
I know.
Oh,
I know. And it was like right when we were filming. And I was like, oh my God, seeing Bon Blanc. I was like, come here, give me a hug.
All right. So we have some fun, silly questions for you for holiday questions.
All right.
So the first one is, what is your favorite holiday drink?
Oh, my favorite holiday drink is I don't know, in my head I want to say like a spiked hot cocoa, but I don't know if I've ever had one.
Yeah.
But in my head, I'm gonna say that.
I think you should make that happen.
I'm gonna make it happen.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a spiked hot cocoa.
All right, good. What is your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Oh, my favorite holiday cookie or treat is a cinnamon roll. My best friend makes the best cinnamon rolls ever.
Yum. Sounds
Very
good.
delicious.
All right. What is your favorite Christmas song or carol?
Ooh, my favorite Christmas song. All I can think of is All I Want for Christmas. But whenever I hear it, and I feel like everyone's gonna get so mad at me when I say this, I feel like it's like nails on a chalkboard. Like it's like plays it like overplays, and I'm like, oh my God, shut it off. So I like listening to like the ones that like don't have lyrics. And it's just like the
instrumentals.
And you like put it on your TV and it has like the fake fireplace.
Yes.
And it's just the instrumental version. Like no hate to Mariah Carey. I love her. A little overplayed.
Like clearly she's the queen. We know that. But my mom actually would completely agree with you. She did not like it. She does not like that Mariah Carey album. That I mean, I would play it all the time, and she was like, oh. She's with you. My mom agrees.
I know. I feel like everyone's gonna hate me for that.
All right. What is your favorite classic Christmas movie?
Oh, my favorite classic Christmas movie. That I feel like I have so many, but the one that is coming to my head is Elf.
It's a fun one. Yeah.
It's a great one. And I'm gonna go see Spirited this weekend with the new Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds movie.
Yes, it's so good. I really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Oh, is it as good as they say it is?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, if you like Pascal Paul's songs like Greatest Showman, Dear Evan Hansen, then you will La La Land, you will love it. Yeah. If it's people who are like, oh, I don't like those songs, then you won't like this show because it has a lot of songs. It is song heavy. Okay. But the choreography is so much fun. And of course, Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds have great chemistry together. It gets a little like convoluted at certain points, but I had a great time with it. I gave it a very high score. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I trust your judgment.
Okay, good.
I feel like we have similar taste.
Okay.
Yeah, so. I will go with Elf though.
Well, you'll have to tag us when you see it, your review.
Okay. I will.
Think? Okay. So which do you like better, Scrooge or the Grinch?
The Grinch.
The Grinch. Okay, good.
The Grinch, only because I impersonate him a lot.
Okay. Which do you like better, clear lights or colored?
Clear light. That was apparently a gut reaction.
Good. Okay. We feel strongly about our lights in the Hallmark world, so I understand.
What do you say?
Well, I like colored lights outside, clear lights inside on the tree.
That makes sense. Otherwise, it's a little much.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Would you rather be in a snowball fight or build a snowman?
Snowball fight. Way more fun.
Yeah. Okay. You have to have a lot of snow to build a snowman.
True.
It has to
And
be
your
pretty
hands are
thick.
going to be real cold.
Yeah, it's really cold. Okay. Would you consider yourself a good gift wrapper or not?
I'm a fantastic gift wrapper. 10 out of 10. I would rate
10
myself.
out of 10.
I'm not good at many things, but I'm good at that.
Okay, good. Last question. Do you have an ugly Christmas sweater?
I do. I just moved. I'm trying to think of where it is, but I do have one. And I've been talking about this, that I am planning on getting my dog and I matching ugly sweaters. And I was told that on Etsy is where I can find them.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, support the small
Yes.
creators.
Yep.
That's fun. Yeah, I have one that has a cat on it, and I feel like that's like the ultimate ugly sweater.
That is
to have a cat. I don't know why. There you go.
That is. It's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
So there you go. You did it. You answered all the questions.
Yay. Thank you so much.
Well, we're looking forward to the new movie, Royal Corgi Christmas. It was going to be a lot of fun. And thanks so much for taking the time to talk with us. It was great.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
And we'll definitely get on that Taming of the Shrew movie right away in Italy.
Yeah, in Italy. And I'm going to watch 13 Lives. We have so much to do. We have to write the treatment.
It's busy.
We're very busy the next few days.
Yeah. Well, do you have social media you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, mostly just my Instagram. My Instagram is Hunter King.
Great. We'll have that all in the description so you can all check that out. And hope you have a very Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Can I get a screenshot real quick for our Insta story? Everybody just smile. There we go. Got it. Great. We can stop recording now. There we go. We'd like to thank Hunter for coming on the podcast. This was a really fun interview. I thoroughly enjoyed talking with her. So let us know what you think about all the things that we talked about in the comments section or on Twitter. And please follow me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. Check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. I really, really, really appreciate that. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have the Patreon group where you can participate in watch-alongs and Q&As and be part of the Facebook group. It's really fun and definitely worth your investment, and we sure appreciate it. We also have the merch store where you get lots of festive designs, and so please take a look at that. We really appreciate it. And thanks so much, everybody, and thanks to Hunter. We'll talk to you later. Bye.